Note to self. Learn from what you did wrong with your corn. Okay, this is, so for size comparison, here's my hand and my tools. These are the ears of corn that were that were taken off of the first round of the Dwarf, the blue Dwarf corn. Few notes. Bad pollination. Although some of them did actually get to the right color. So, I mean, that tells me that I have the right temperature for this corn, at the very least. Few notes. Earwigs are a much bigger problem than I thought they were here. But, you know, this is my first year growing this. I didn't plant them this year to get a harvest. I planted them this year to troubleshoot. The big one was earwigs, because they ate the tassels down before they could get pollinated. And then they also, as I was taking these out of their husks, there were a few earwigs in there, and like you can see on a few of these that some of the kernels that did actually, you know, ripen were in fact eaten into by the earwigs that were living in the ears of corn. So earwigs are a much bigger problem than I thought they were. Pollination was an issue. I think it was mostly like 80% the earwig's fault, because, you know, they ate the tassels before the tassels could get pollen on them. But I think I planted them too close together, so I think that also impacted how well they were able to air pollinate. So that is another issue. But as far as a troubleshooting year, I certainly learned a hell of a lot, and this is just on the blue dwarf corn. The yellow buttercorn is still green. It's still, some of the ears I notice are still coming up and forming. So I'm going to wait until the stalks turn brown before I harvest any of the ears here. I will keep refilling the earwig traps, and hopefully I will learn even more from this and even more from the direct sown stuff about, you know, the troubleshooting I have to do as far as growing corn in my backyard. And maybe I'm just in the wrong sort of spot. Maybe the earwigs are just too bad here. I use wood chips. We have a bunch, we're right next to a creek. Especially the type of bed that I put them in, where it was this low, you know, exposed to the ground, not proper walls. It's very hard to weed in there. I put some wood chip mulch in there, which is kind of the wrong thing if you want to deter earwigs, which I didn't know back when I was mulching them for the first time. So it has been very informative. I certainly did a lot wrong, but I didn't know I was doing it wrong, and this is how you find out. So I have definitely reaped a harvest of knowledge, not corn.